What is up, YouTube, my Cowboys family, bringing you guys the latest update on the Dallas Cowboys.
What's up?
Give us just a minute while we check our audio. We'll jump right back with you. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, this Eagles game is a pretty big deal, so...
Yeah, we're hoping to get a lot of Eagle fans in tonight. They usually make a lot of stops here at Cowboys Central. Wolf Rider, what's up first?
What is up, YouTube?
Audio is good. Checks out. Guys, as you know, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of news. Like, we're going to get to that, but we want to talk with everyone out there. Wolf Rider, how you doing out there? Yes, you are the first one.
All right, perfect. We both sound good. All right, guys, so we are ready to roll. Again, with this upcoming Eagles game, you know, we really do have a lot to talk about, obviously, you know, on offense, on defense, with all our injuries, and, you know, and is anyone other than Alshon Jeffrey injured? Like any major
for the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple guys that were on the injury report this entire week.
Yeah.
We have Ronald Darby, which they got and acquired him from the Buffalo Bills, a cornerback. He had an ankle injury, but he was full participation every day. He's not, and he's full go for the game, so he'll be, of course, playing. They have Jalen Watkins, safety, hamstring, full participation the whole week. He's going to play. You know, he's not on the injury report at all. His game status is a go. Then you have Zach Ertz, guys. Their star tight end. Their Jason Witten wannabe. Zach Ertz, hamstring injury. He's full. So he went 3 days again, same as the other ones, same as the other guys. He's all out. So, but the only one who appeared on Thursday, he was not on Wednesdays, was Alshon Jeffrey, and he's the receiver for the Eagles. Now, I'm not really sure what happened exactly. That's why I'm hoping some Eagle fans can drop some knowledge and let me know what happened there. But but either way, he says it's limited on Thursday, and then today it was changed from limited to full, and he's questionable officially on the injury report for the Eagles, but. You can bet he's going to play, guys.
Yeah,
you know, so there's really no injuries for the Eagles. They're good to go as far as, you know, any injury that didn't knock their guys out for the year, like Peters, like the linebackers. You know, so other than that, you know, they're good as far as injuries are concerned.
So now, Michael, thanks for joining us. DJ Crown J, Simmons family, Carrie Baptista, all you guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Let me see. So I really hope, I wish that the score was us beating the Eagles by 13 or more points. Again, Michael, if it was up to us, we would definitely be beating the Eagles. I mean, we hate the Eagles just as much as you do. Underneath the Cowboys is the Eagles hate.
Yes.
So.
As you can see, Eagles
suck.
Get in there. I can't. There you go. Wearing it again every day this week, guys. Does not matter.
Chaz Jewel, thanks for joining us. Dallas has a chance to win. It's going to be a good game. We need this win. I do think that this is one of those make or break wins. We already kind of discussed, and you said, baby, that very good stat of a 27% chance of making the playoffs now. I mean, I don't see us making the playoffs if we lose to the Eagles. I mean, I guess there's still a chance, but the chance is so small.
Well, a lot of things depend on the other teams in the NFC.
Yeah, and they're all playing really well, guys.
And have tiebreakers. A lot of those teams have tiebreakers on us as of right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of different situations, guys, that with the whereabout with this game. And let's start off with the I guess, look, we knew Sean Lee was going to be out. Yeah. And we know that Dan Bailey's going to be out. They were both, of course, ruled out for this week's game against the Eagles. So they're out, guys. And then we knew that Chidobe Awuzie was going to get his first game play here. Basically, other than 3 snaps in his last 7 games, he's back. Yeah. So hopefully they'll get more than 3 and be able to be productive. We're going to need him, guys. Jeff Heath, he's out. Now, he's not officially ruled out. He's listed as questionable, but he was out of practice today, which means that he's still concussion protocol. He's still dealing with those effects. Yeah. It sounds by what Rod Marinelli and other coaches have said as that Heath's not going to play. Yeah. That's the word.
By Heath not playing, that means we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of Xavier Woods. You know, expect them to be kind of really just take over Heath's spot. And now this is going to be a big game for him. You know, he's had some experience under his belt. He's made some good moves, made some rookie mistakes. But now he has to fill Jeff Heath's shoes, which are some interesting shoes to fill. And I am not a Jeff Heath fan. You're not a Heath fan.
I think
a lot of us, I think, are excited to see Xavier Woods out there and see what he can do.
I think he already filled those shoes. I mean, I think this is almost like, even if he was okay to play, I think this is a good excuse for the coaching staff right now to maybe say, No, Jeff, take it easy. Take it easy this 1 week. Take it easy. Let's
yeah,
see
you think
Xavier.
if we don't have someone like Xavier, Jeff Heath might be maybe
I think it'd be
a little more rushed or a little more coerced.
And that's not because Jeff Heath's good, but maybe if we had absolutely nothing left to go on, I'd say, and nothing that looked good. But I'm telling you guys, Xavier Woods looks good. He's played well. Like you said, he has some experience out there. Now, Chidobe Awuzie, he's also going to play some safety, guys.
Yeah, so, Xavier is going to have a little bit of help there, too, with Cheeto. But, Cheeto hasn't played that much still. Like,
Correct.
He's still going to be learning, I guess.
He's got great talent, though. And the thing is that, we haven't – it's like kind of like Jordan Lewis. Like, Jordan Lewis came out there, was a little bit lost, but then he regained himself, and you can see he's panning out to be, even though he's still inconsistent, he has that future is bright with him. Awuzie, the first couple of weeks, he kind of was productive for a rookie, and he was in there, he was spot duty, some rotational play, but we had Nolan Carroll at the time, guys. There's no Nolan Carroll, and the thing is that part of that was because, of course, his bad play, but also because of Awuzie. Then we lost Awuzie with the hamstring, and then when he came back, he was out again. I think against one of the teams in between the last 7. He has not missed basically 7 games except for 3 snaps. He's back. He's going to play corner. He's going to play safety. He's going to play like picture Byron Jones. Okay, he's a similar kind of player. So Byron Jones will also be playing at the tight end spot, covering man to man on the tight end for the Eagles, Zach Ertz, and you're also going to see him also playing in the slot. So any of the slot receivers for the Eagles, you'll see them covering. So when Byron Jones is down there playing the cornerback position, you will see probably 2 rookies playing safety, guys. And I think these are 2 aggressive, intelligent, hard-hitting, just all-around good rookies that have a lot of potential. Might make mistakes. They're safeties, so they have to be on point. And
Xavier Woods, the last line of defense.
Yeah, I would say other than Xavier Woods' tackling, that's been shoddy. Everything else, his coverage has been pretty good, and I will say he's been there. Jordan Lewis has been there for the most part, having very good games as a cornerback. And Awuzie, we really haven't seen enough, but when he has been in there, he's been a very smart and instinctive player. And I think that's a huge thing for our Cowboys to have on defense, to have more players like that. And these guys are all young and hungry.
So now, Wilson, thanks for joining us. What's the Cowboys record after losing to the Eagles? Ha ha ha! Very funny. Chaz Jewell, Irving and D-Law want to have an early Thanksgiving feast Sunday. Why else would Ware be helping those boys out? They want it. I will say I was really happy and excited to see that DeMarcus Ware was helping out the Cowboys and, giving some of his, breakdown, knowledge, I guess, for them. Yeah. So Cleveland Brown, thanks for joining us as well. How about them Cowboys? We need a near-perfect or Eagles sucking big time to win. I think both of those things can happen. Again, these divisional games guys, we saw where the Jets almost beat the Patriots earlier this year, and the Patriots, kind of had like a last-minute comeback win. So never say never when it comes to the
Jets are looking better and the Patriots look a little worse, but you know what?
Yeah, but overall, you never would have expected, for the score to have been that close the whole game, for the Jets to have been winning the majority of the game. I'm just saying that no one could have predicted that entire game from start to finish, except for the one thing that the Patriots won. They did manage to win in the end, but they still had to fight for it.
Yeah.
So.
Now going.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about the Patriots anymore. But Jody Thaggart, thanks for joining us. And then I like Xavier Woods to start. The best move will be having Chaz Green sitting on the bench. Now Cleveland Brown.
That's a great move over because that's what I want to talk about. Our basically the biggest name of all, the one that we weren't really sure about, and guys we still are not sure about.
Yeah, Tyron Smith. Like you said, it's looking more and more like a game time decision, especially after today's practice report.
Right. So that's the big thing, guys. On the injury report today after practice, he participated in the open practice to the media, the early morning practice. He was, in that practice, I don't know if they have full pads, but I think because it's a short week, they are in full pads. So Tyron Smith was in full pads doing some individual drills. And this was in front of the media in the morning. And then in their second practice, the later practice that was closed off to the media, it seemed that, obviously, we don't know what happened, but when the injury report came out, it said he did not practice. So that means he wasn't even limited. So that means that maybe something flared up on him. Maybe there was just too much uncomfortableness issue that he still had, or maybe something they saw in him that he wasn't ready. Either way, that just shows. See, that's why I wanted to wait. Either way, no matter what Jane Slater reported, I wanted to make sure that we got the whole story. And this really plays it out a little more. Now, guys, doesn't mean it's over yet. The Cowboys, I know you had said earlier, baby, that on your stream that if he was going to practice a little bit today, he's probably gonna play. Usually when he practices and he's listed as
questionable.
Well, not as questionable, as limited.
Yeah.
As limited practice, he usually ends up questionable and then ends up playing. Now, this situation is weird because he ended up as a did not practice.
Yeah, but he still kind of participated, like we said, in the beginning open part of practice.
And they still listed him as questionable. He hasn't practiced in 2 weeks. So they listed him as questionable, which is a good sign. But the fact that he did not practice probably leans to the fact that he's not going to play, which means now who's the backup behind him? You know, Byron Bell is the front runner as we think right now. That's what's being heard, even though nobody's given a real confirmation on that. Yeah, but I mean, it's still gonna be probably Byron Bell with probably a short leash to maybe give Chaz Green another chance. And I don't know if the coaches have seen enough from him to make a quick 180 turnaround. Yeah, same thing with Byron Bell, and they're not gonna get any extra help as well, guys. And they'll maybe get a little more than last game, but not much past that.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was kind of an excuse from Jerry Jones when he was on the radio earlier today. Now, I listened to the whole thing. He tried to, they kind of asked him straight up why they left Chaz Green in the game for so long, or what was their did they expect Chaz Green to suck as bad as he did? And his answer was, well, he played very good at left guard, and when we played him at left tackle, he played good, and he had one good game like 2-3 years ago at left tackle. And I kind of stopped myself. I'm like, so based on one game from 2-3 years ago that he played one time at that position and he did good or maybe even great, that was it? It just still seems like they were not prepared at all for Chaz Green to do as bad as he did. But I just can't imagine that he didn't show any sign of that in practice. That's all I've been saying. That's all. I just can't imagine
either that or how the coaches, the Cowboy coaching staff,
or the way they coach, the way they practice,
and the offensive line. The offensive line coaches, if they couldn't tell this either, that's an issue. So
and again, where's the issue? Is it in the team? Is it the way they practice, or again, is it a coaching issue in what they're seeing, or like someone said, even a scouting issue? Is it just that we're not getting the right guys to fit our scheme, or holding on to the wrong people?
Will McCray has been really good at helping our team get some nice pickups. Jason Garrett has made some nice draft choices, like Dak Prescott, kind of pushing Jerry Jones's hand on that one.
So an elite Aubrey,
but good behind the scenes, not as a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I just never liked him, and I never will. I don't think he'll ever will win a championship with us, a Super Bowl championship, guys. It's too bad.
So, and it stinks that the Cowboys are almost their own worst enemy when their own coaching staff is one of their biggest problems, because as far as like feeling like a team and working together as a team, I will say I think this team has it. We have what it takes. A lot of our guys, we see a lot of these guys like really working towards this goal, but
they come together.
They can't do it alone, and it's a team effort, not just by the team but the staff as well.
And you got to wonder what happened at the end of that last game when Skandrick was yelling at Jason Garrett, and whatever was going.
Skandrick said that we have to finish games. That's what he said. He was yelling. Yeah, I'm still calling BS on that. I feel like he was yelling
they were already out of the game. By the time he was yelling, it was 27-7. It was 27-7.
I think he means more the fact that in the beginning of the game they had the momentum and they had everything on their side, and they let the game slip through their hands again. I mean, it's not the only time, but at the same time, Skandrick is one of those guys that I got to give him credit. He had a few, good games these last 2-3 weeks or so, but he's also blown a lot of plays. He's not the most consistent player, so put your money where your mouth is, Skandrick. But I understand that emotion, especially when, there were definitely at least 1 or 2 very questionable calls by the coaches at that point in the game. Yeah. And, I mean, again, I can't blame the players for getting that fired up, but it was a little amusing at least to see Garrett kind of step back, a little freaked out, a little scared, because Skandrick looked like he was ready to punch him in the face.
I mean, when Skandrick, as our cornerback, he's the veteran cornerback. We have we have Jordan Lewis, who's the rookie, and he's been playing fantastic. We have Anthony Brown, who's been really having a sophomore slump.
Yeah,
and then
he did all right this past game.
He had a couple good plays and a couple bad plays. I mean, the interception he had great defense on the interception, and Xavier Woods had great awareness to catch the interception and snag it out the air. But for the most part, Anthony Brown is still having a sophomore slump, and then you look at Awuzie, who's our next cornerback, officially listed as a cornerback, but then you also know that Xavier Woods can drop down to play corner at times as well. So can Byron Jones. So you really have 6 cornerbacks when you look at the whole thing. And then you also have at safety, when you look at our safeties, you have, Heath being gone. You're going to have Xavier Woods. You have Byron Jones. You're going to have Kevon Frazier as well, making some appearances throughout the game. And he's also a special teams, star, I guess you'd say, on the Cowboys team. So
I'm going to shoot you one last question just about this because it kind of just popped in my head. Do you think that you said earlier in our news stream that Xavier Woods has a little bit of a tackling problem?
Yeah.
So do you think that that's Xavier Woods, or do you think that's just kind of an overall Cowboys problem? Because I feel like we have a lot of guys that can get to a spot, but I see a lot of missed tackles. And I know some of these guys are smaller, so it's, you can't expect them to stop, a Jimmy Graham or, like some big guy. I can't expect a little guy to stop some big guy. But I see a lot of our guys just missing tackles, not wrapping their arms as well,
I mean, I agree. Byron Jones.
Close but no cigar.
Byron Jones has missed some tackles recently, but he usually is not that bad. He's actually pretty sure a good tackler, usually. But he's had a couple bad games. Jordan Lewis is he's one of our best tacklers out there. Anthony Brown's decent as well. But Jeff Heath, Kevon Frazier at times on deep when he's playing safety, not on special teams, but on safety for some reason. He doesn't wrap all the time. Jeff Heath, him, and Xavier Woods has had issues with wrapping. Now, sometimes he lays the wood, he hits hard.
Yeah, no, he
but
hits
doesn't
hard.
Wrap. He's kind of like Jeff Heath. He hits hard too, but he doesn't wrap. So, it's the point is that they
slows him down, but it doesn't stop him.
Chidobe Awuzie, I think he does wrap his arms. So again, although I think he did miss one or two as well. The point is that I agree. There seems to be somewhat of an issue being on the coaching staff of teaching these guys how to do this thing right and enforce. Not just every coach tells you that since Pee Wee football, but
there's a difference between just saying it and then actually actively teaching players how to do it.
You have to instill it. It has to be a discipline thing, and that's the thing where I think the Cowboys are missing a lot from their coaching staff, from Garrett down. I mean, it starts from him.
Credit, and that is credit, and I'll give credit to that discipline as well for all the flags that we keep getting.
Right.
Insane. So hello Newman, thanks for joining us. I think Lyle needs to go to Leary's old spot. Well, guys, I don't think Lyle Collins is moving anywhere.
They're not gonna do it yet, guys.
Simus, thanks for joining us. David Williams, Frankie G, Billy Murphy. Let me see. Jared Jablonski. All you guys, thank you so much for being here.
Anybody out there, guys, who's a Philly fan, we want to hear about where you think your weaknesses are on your team, on offense and on defense, and what you guys think about the Eagles' weaknesses. Because I really want to know where their strengths are. I mean, we know that on offense they're ranked 4th in the running game in the NFL, which means that they rely on the run heavily. And us missing Sean Lee, that's a major issue. So we're going to have a rotational situation there at linebacker.
So let's touch through a few of your comments. Xavier Woods is going to run Jeff Heath out of Dallas. Simus, I hope so.
I agree.
Let's see, Frankie G, there's no way Woods can be worse than Heath at tackling, and I don't think so. I think he is better, but that doesn't mean he still doesn't have room to improve.
Well, here's the thing. Xavier Woods he's still a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to blow some coverage, and he's going to miss some tackles. He missed a couple big ones against the Packers in that last drive. That was a bad one. If he had tackled inbounds, it would have changed the game. It would have forced the Packers to either spike the ball if they even could have. I don't know if they could have, or have to call a timeout. It was a big difference in their last minute comeback win there.
And then Billy Murphy, Skanjik's been having his career wasted by Garrett too. He knows they have the talent to go all the way, and he knows Garrett's holding him back.
Who said that? That's a very good point.
Billy Murphy.
Billy Murphy, great comment. That's very true. That's real.
So and again, when you feel. This team knows that it can get to the Super Bowl. I just don't think there's any other way to say it. And I'm not saying this team right now, but I mean in 2016, you felt that energy, that passion. I think all of us expected 2017 to be a very dominant year for the Cowboys. And I think all of the Cowboys were hyped and excited about that. So for the season to go the way it did and then to have mistake after mistake and by the own coaching staff.
But guys, here's the thing I'm saying. Even if we have Ezekiel Elliott.
Cleveland Brown, let's clone Sean Lee. I agree. I'll fund that.
Now, here's the thing. Listen here, guys. Here's the thing, and I think Simon's saying about the non-aggressive style from Marinelli. I think we have the players that are aggressive, and I think when you have them all out in the field, and you're going to see them the first time, all three together, has it been the whole season basically? I mean, I think Awuzie was there for 3 games, for 3 plays, with the other 2 at the same time. So I'm not really sure if they've all played together. I know Lewis' first game was against the Broncos, and I don't know if any of the other ones are missing. So, Awuzie has been gone since week 3 or 4, and I mean, it's just been. We haven't been able to have all 3 rookies really flowing together out there. I think when they're going to play together, they're going to play more aggressive naturally, and that's just their style of play, with or without Rod Marinelli's loss of that aggressiveness. Maybe now, the current Rod, not the old aggressive one.
And then Chaz drew McFadden first, Rod second. I still think McFadden. I don't know. I still want to know why they haven't played him as much. I want him to be the starter, the starting running back. But I still think it's going to start off with Alfred Morris back there.
Yeah, Alfred Morris is going to be the starter. But like in the linebacker position,
I know there's going to be,
it's by
committee. There's going to be a rotation.
Hot
but
hand,
I still think
that
Alfred Morris is going to get the most carries.
He'll probably end up with it if they go by the same game plan as before. Now, I do see them probably trying to use McFadden a little bit earlier in this game than they did last time. I think you're going to see them using McFadden a little more often as well. And I think if he has a couple of good runs, look for them to stay with McFadden and not go back to Morris. See, I think it's going to be an in-game kind of thing. When it comes to Rod Smith, I think he's still going to play like a 10-snap kind of situation. Yeah. No matter how, even if he breaks a couple, I think they're going to maybe still rein him in a little bit and still try to use Morris or McFadden as a lead back. But, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get more carries and Morris lose some if McFadden breaks a couple and does well. So look for that. Very, very possible for as far as the running backs are concerned. And I want to talk about the linebackers. Guys, our linebackers, without Sean Lee and without Tyron Smith, it doesn't matter about Ezekiel Elliott, guys. Exactly. Zeke is almost irrelevant because if everything breaks down at the offensive line, and we saw it happen against the Broncos.
Zeke can't run.
Correct.
That's it.
It's not about Dak or Zeke. It's about the offensive line. And then that translates into the defense as well. And it comes to our run stopping. That's Hitchens and that's Sean Lee. And you need both of them. And it doesn't matter which one of the two is missing. You still need both. And missing Sean Lee is going to be a big, big hit on the Cowboys right now. And so the word is on nickel packages, which is really what the Cowboys run most often.
Exactly.
They usually run 2 linebackers in a nickel and 5 defensive backs, usually 3 corners and 2 safeties. But with the versatility we have back there, it could be 3 safeties and 2 corners. Point is that we still run 2 linebackers, and that will be used. It's always Sean Lee and Anthony Hitchens. Now it's going to be Anthony Hitchens. And they're looking at Damian Wilson as being that guy. When they're in their base 4-3, they're looking at Durant being the starter. And that when they'll have him as a starting middle linebacker, and they'll have Hitchens on the weak side, and they'll have the strong side will stay as Damian Wilson. Yeah. And then in other situations, you're going to see Jalen Smith playing 15 to 20 snaps. In my opinion, they should do that. Yeah. Which would maximize the quality of his snaps and get him sacks, get him pressures, do that kind of stuff. And then you still have Justin March Lillard, who has 29 career games. He's agile, he's faster, he's quicker. Maybe we need a little boost with him, 5-10 plays. We got Kyle Wilber in there too. So we got a lot of guys to mix and match. I just don't think we stick with one guy throughout the game. We got to move pieces around and see what works best, depending on the down and distance situation, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so let me see. Simon said, Cowboys fans never understood with this young defense I call baby doomsday. There'd be growing pains this season. I think most of those growing pains, unfortunately, come from our injuries. I think that's the worst part. So Shallow How, no Warren Moon reference. And then Hello Newman. Miami offered J.J. to the league. Dallas in a bite. 4th round pick is all they wanted. We have 4 compensatory picks. Why the hell didn't we get him? Forget that. Why didn't we get Navarro Bowman?
That would have been a much more position of need, even with the. Yeah, right now, we're not lacking right now at running back, in my opinion. And when it comes to the baby doomsday, I agree with Simus on that. The thing is that we have the growing pains are going to be. They're going to miss coverages. They're going to miss tackles. That's gonna happen, and we have to understand that that's gonna come with the territory. That includes Taco as well, and he's had some bad games, and he's had a couple okay games. My point is that it's not gonna be an all at once kind of thing. Yeah. Even the fact that they produce as much as they have, and how much they beat out other players that have been there, like Nolan Carroll, like Jeff Heath. These guys are dropping off, and the rookies, even the ones that haven't played, like Awuzie, already taking over spots. So whatever, win or lose this season. I mean, I like the fact that we're getting these guys in. And if we lose the season, if we don't get the playoffs, whatever, these guys have some good experience, ready for next year. I think we're going to be bigger and better next year. But a lot of things depend on who we sign and that sort of stuff. Who we can afford to keep. Yeah. So
I mean, just a quick peek into the future. Do you think that the Cowboys need to start looking into some backup insurance for Tyron Smith? Because I mean, let's keep in mind, outside of the groin thing, the back issue is only going to get worse the longer he plays. He's already kind of being managed and limited with that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, how long do you think that he can keep playing like this before it gets to the point where he kind of turns it to like a Chaz Green where he's off the field more than he's not because of this injury, or he's having to have surgery, or he does a paya and has to suddenly retire because he's forced to retire.
No, you're right. I mean, I do think that I think the Cowboys thought that they had something at least with Chaz Green. Yeah. And obviously, again, it's one game. Let's see what happens when he will get another shot. I can foresee this happening. And at the very least, they want him at guard, you know, as a backup guard. So
and SCN out, thanks for joining us here. And then let me see. Oh my goodness, Sports Highlights. There you go. Sports Highlights, thanks for joining us, and happy early Thanksgiving to you guys. Yes, happy early Thanksgiving, guys. We're keeping it nice and cowboy filled this year, but back to it, baby. Sorry,
no, it's all good.
Shout out all the people.
No, look at some things here about the bad knees. Chaz Jules said, I always say that's the key to him. His bad knees with Ajayi. Again, he'll be good for a couple of years, but then he's going to drop off. And I think that the Dolphins knew this.
And the Eagles did too. They didn't want a forever player. They wanted right now a plug and play.
Right.
That's what the Cowboys need, and that's what they did.
Well, but I don't think it was worth it. I think it was more like you said, Navarro Bowman.
Right. He was a plug and play.
And that's a guy we can see that happening, guys, with the injury to Hitchens already early in the season, and then we have, of course, injury-prone Sean Lee. We should have. And Jalen Smith already was showing the signs of not being a full-time linebacker right now in the NFL. With the injury, with still kind of being a rookie. So the growing pains, even though it still has, you're hitting it with these other rookies, you still got other guys that are basically rookies in there still.
Well, Brian Bradford said they shouldn't be missing tackles no matter how young they are. I
Correct.
mean,
I
like
agree.
I said, it's like one of the most simple, basic, fundamental concepts of football. One of the earliest skills that you have to learn.
You're right. 100% right. But still, rookies are rookies. And again, unless you're like Ronnie Lott,
mistakes.
Unless you're Ronnie Lott or one of these like superstar All-Pro safeties or corners, and that's going to come Deion Sanders, and he wasn't that good at tackling. My point is that it's more the speed of the NFL compared to college. Xavier Woods played for a small college. Now he's going NFL against guys that you never seen this kind of speed before. He's been the superstar everywhere he's played, and now he's just like barely making the team. So again, guys, you got to remember that he's still getting used to the speed of the game, and that does affect tackling. But I think that he has some hard-hitting, aggressive ability. Same with Awuzie. Awuzie is a little more instinctive and intelligent. I think he's just more natural to the game, but maybe doesn't have the aggressiveness as much as Xavier. Yeah, he understands it better.
Xavier, I think, has more of the physical ability, like you said, the instinctiveness, the natural feel for the game. But he needs to learn more. Xavier.
No, well,
he needs to learn more of the actual skill of the game. But Awuzie seems to know the game and have the skill, but again, sometimes physically isn't 100%.
I think he's more of a complete player, Awuzie, than Xavier Woods. So I think he's a little more mature. Yes, I think he's a little more mature. But again, I think Xavier Woods will make a bigger play at times. So it just depends. My point is that
I think they're more athletic, just naturally.
Exactly. I mean, you saw the interception. I don't know if Awuzie would have made that interception that Xavier Woods did. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. The difference maker in that way, Xavier Woods has the heads up on him.
Yeah.
But
I don't think necessarily
I feel
one's
more
better than the other.
I feel more comfortable with Awuzie at safety or corner. But see, I feel good with Xavier Woods at both spots as well. But for some reason, I see Awuzie as being more of a leader in the sense of telling people, knowing where to go with people, and he's more of a Sean Lee type of player. You understand? Cerebral, him and Hitchens and Lee. I think he's gonna fit right in. I just wish he had Lee in there with him right now. Big miss there. But again, with all our defensive backs, our linebackers, our front line, DeMarcus Lawrence at one corner, at one defensive end, and then you have Tyron Crawford at the other one. You have Malik Collins in the middle with the foot injury, but he'll be playing. And of course David Irving. I saw David Williams say about Ed Too Tall Jones. He always said it every time you're on here. I love Ed Too Tall Jones, number 72, but he's definitely not Ed Too Tall Jones yet. Now I want to say this. I remember seeing Ed Too Tall Jones. Man, I loved seeing him play because he was so dominant, so big, took up so much space, knocked the ball down, and he has a lot of those same qualities, those same features. He's still got a long time to develop into that kind of dominating player. But you can see it. And again, he doesn't play the end. Too Tall played the end. He plays the tackle, and he's so quick inside. He's so disruptive. He's a different kind of player, but similarly disruptive. So
yeah. And Desmond Morris, thanks for joining us. Let me see. I saw somebody else here.
Is Skipper Shawa Howe? Is Skipper on practice squad? No, he was picked up by the Detroit Lions.
God, thanks for joining
He was picked up by the Detroit Lions. Dan Skipper, our tackle, that was on our practice squad, was picked up by the Lions, and then a couple of weeks ago they moved him onto their 53-man roster. That's it, guys. We can't get Skipper back. It's over for us with him for now. And he's 6'10", whatever. He looked pretty massive. He was like a brawler. Someone maybe could have helped us right now. No, we don't get that. We have Joe Looney, and we have, as you saw, Chaz Green and Byron Bell.
So, and then let me see, David Jones, DeMarcus Ware is coming in to help with the defense. Yeah, he was working with the pass rushers, so hopefully Wentz ends up on the ground, eating dirt. Let me see, Darren Woodson played at Arizona State, Ware, Troy. Schools don't matter, it's coaching. Let me see, Newman, I've been watching since the 70s. I've never seen so many issues. I can see Romo Ware being on the Dallas coaching staff one day. Chaz, I hope that happens. That would be great.
I can see that definitely. He has the brain for it.
Yeah, they have the brain and they have the experience.
Do you think he should be a quarterback's coach?
Romo?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
I think. How about a defensive coordinator? Defensive coach.
No, I think he would make a great offensive coordinator.
How about a defensive coach? He knows how to read defenses because of his offensive awareness.
Look, but reading a defense is not enough. I don't think when it comes to defensive playing, I don't think being able to read the defense is enough. That's why I think he would be a better offensive coach.
Interesting question, guys. Comment below what you think.
Let me know. Do you think Romo would make a better offensive coach or defensive coach or head coach? I guess I think offensive, just because again. He knows what it's like on that side of the ball. He knows how to pick apart the defense in a way that the offense can understand. That's just me personally.
Simon
but
said
I think defensively, he might be able to.
Speaking of defense, I see here. See, CNET, Tutel Jones, Jim Jeffcoat, not even close. These guys were monsters in the 80s mainly.
Yeah.
You know, I remember them in the 80s. That's me.
Now, Cleveland Browns said that management has to be blamed for a lack of depth in defense. Without Lee, our whole defense falters. They should have been more prepared with the injury history. Exactly, or be prepared to make moves to compensate for what they didn't plan for, and they didn't do either of those things. So
it was really hard to get Navarro Bowman because he wanted to stay in California. So we're taking a big contract. This is a guy who Jerry Jones did not want to get guys that were kneeling or in any way during the anthem or disrespecting the flag or the anthem. So it was really going to be a hard sell to get him. But just the fact that he was looking at us as one of the options. I mean, that would have been nice to try to make a move for someone, either him or someone like him. And there were some guys out there, even at the front line, like someone like Dwight Freeney, who can go in there and just get you some more pressure from the defensive front. Cowboys don't make these moves, though.
That's it.
The Cowboys don't do this, though. They stick with the stubbornness of Jason Garrett and making bad, horrible offseason moves. And I don't mean in the draft. They made some mostly great moves in the draft. I'm talking about in the offseason when they got Stephen Pye, who retired, had some potential but retired because of the injury.
Yeah, they had Nolan Carroll.
Nolan Carroll, garbage. Then they had Demontre Moore, who was cut. So again, guys, these guys, and they had Cedric Thornton a couple years before that from the Eagles, also cut this year. So a lot of cuts, guys that just never panned out or just were bad offseason acquisitions. We don't know how to make free agent moves out there, and that scares me.
I think the only good pickup the Cowboys made was Paya, but again, the reason that we got him in the first place,
injury prone, and really
because he was a
surprise.
He
was a surprise in the first place, though. You know, for the team, he was going to be just a temporary player, and he pushed Cedric Thornton out of the spot.
Yeah, so
he became very quick in the middle. And then, of course, David Irving has that, and Malik Collins is fantastic as well. But Paya would have been able to add some depth that we don't have now when Brian Price is out. And we have, we got Richard Ash, and we have Lewis Neal just doing enough for us right now. We have another guy in the practice squad, I think, or someone in 53. But either way, we need, we would have needed someone like a Stephen Paya right now to really mix and match in the middle there.
Now, SCNL. We're going to come right back to your question because I just want to read. A few people are saying, so Chaz said, tough to say. I'll go with offensive coach. Romo's extremely smart and could probably take any coaching position. Right. Now, Simon said Romo should be a head coach. Miles Austin should be the offensive coordinator, and Ken Norton or Leon Lett defensive coordinator.
Thank you.
Let me see. And then
I say defense, but I understand head coach and offense coordinator.
Said, don't forget, you have teams in the way like the Panthers, Rams, Seahawks, and the Saints. What would the Cowboys have to do in order to get in the playoffs? So first, they have to sacrifice a go. Just kidding, guys.
First, they have to win their games.
Yes, that's it.
Game by game. If they keep losing, it's going to get too far out of reach. It already almost is. You almost feel it slipping away. With Tyron Smith, really our offensive captain that we need, even more important than Zeke. In a way, he's more important. And you can say that about Travis Frederick and Zach Martin. So you lose one of these guys and you don't have the depth to replace it, then you have an issue there on offense, which then creates a bigger issue on defense. And then on top of that, to compound that, you have Sean Lee gone, who's our best defensive leader, run stopper, he's a big part of our team on defense and holds things down, especially in the running game, where the Eagles are 4th ranked in the NFL, again, running the ball. So we have to, whoever's playing that spot, and it's going to have to be rotational, guys. If it is only Durant, or if it is only Jalen Smith, or if it is only Damian Wilson, we are going to get our butts handed to us in this game, guys, by the Eagles, and it's not going to be any fun. All these things have to happen for us to just have, and I'm going to repeat this, I want to say it out loud, Tyron Smith, being there, even 70%, and having these rotational players at linebacker, that is it to have a chance to win. We probably still lose. So it's just too much of an uphill climb. Listen, if something happens and we really, a bizarre NFL hits for us positively this week, and we play well, the Eagles play off, and we can beat them in a close game, then guess what? We're back in it. The confidence back in not only Cowboy Nation and here on YouTube and throughout the whole Cowboy world, but the players get more confidence. They feel that they can turn around and beat the Chargers on Thanksgiving. That was always a special game in Big D. And then turn around and play a division rival at home with the Redskins, possibly take that game, beat the Giants. And again, it's a rolling kind of thing. You got to get this first win somewhere, and we just felt it. We felt everything going away in the Falcons game, and we need to regain it now, or it's no more time.
I think it's going to be gone. Yeah,
no more time.
We're at a point in the season, and
we have to win all the rest of our games if we lose to the Eagles.
So
to have a chance to make the playoffs.
Let me see. Simus, we need Coach Singletary, and then Anthony Brown at free safety.
I like Singletary.
I remember watching those guys play and knew they were going to get interceptions, which is one thing you can't say as much for us, but hopefully that's going to change. Let me see. Simus, I need Jalen Smith to be Dat Nguyen for the rest of the season. Too Wavy, thanks for joining us. Even if you don't like the Cowboys, it's all good.
Make sure you guys hit subscribe if you haven't yet. You could be part of my Cowboys family. It's all right. You can be from other teams because, listen, if you're a true fan, we respect you here. This is not, no real trash talking. And we can trash talk in the chat, too. You guys do that. That's you guys. Just keep it family friendly. But this is a football family, too, guys. Yes. And we do football news. We do Cowboy news, of course. That's our team. And, of course, we love our Cowboys. We're going to be biased somewhat, always. But,
bring you the facts.
Exactly, guys. And listen, Eagles suck. Do the Eagles suck? Of course we know they really kind of don't suck this season. But do they suck as far as their organization? Do they suck as far as, just being just low down dirty? Yeah, just disgraceful, a disgraceful mole on the NFL. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the Eagles.
So, Cowboys Abroad, thanks for joining us. And then DJ Crown J, I didn't see your question. Let me scroll back and grab it.
Sorry, guys. When we have Super Chat and 140 subscribers, we'll be able to do this better.
Cornerbacks, it's no excuse for this type of coaching. And actually,
we did it with linebackers.
We did it with linebackers. So I feel like whatever the Cowboys are thinking of not going deep, they should do the exact opposite of that. So,
guys, we did it with linebackers last week. We had Durant out, and we had Lillard out. And what happened? We lost Sean Lee, so we had nobody left but Kyle Wilbur. And Jalen Smith had to play the whole game. So you saw what happened, guys. It wasn't very, very pretty.
We've said it before, and we'll keep saying it. The less snaps that Jalen Smith is out there for, the better his performance will be. For
sure. And you want quality, not quantity with him.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Cowboys Abroad said bring back Chan Gailey to coach.
Oh, no.
Okay, he said it. We're laughing about it.
Okay, good.
I don't know who that is, but obviously very, very
Cowboys
bad.
Abroad. No.
So I'm going to disagree with you, Chaz. I think that they gained the little bit of momentum that they did have during their bye week because we came back, we beat the Niners. Then we
got healthy too, guys. That was the biggest thing. We got
Sean
healthy.
Lee came back. Hitchens was back.
And we got Zeke back too. Remember, going into that bye week, we didn't have Zeke.
Sure, yeah.
We had that extra week to actually be able to get the stay in place, which we got. And we got to play 3 games.
For better, for worse, we had Zeke in there. So, and if Seahawks lose this week, Cowboys might have a chance to make it to the playoffs.
You got
Lalo,
Seahawks.
thanks for joining us.
Why can't Jason
use more quick passes to help his right tackle issue? Defense, we should blitz more.
Very good.
Heck, if we're gonna give up points, we might as well get a few hits on Carson. So. Again, I don't ever want to say let's go for cheap shots, but I will say I'm disappointed that we only got 1 sack this evening.
I agree. We had some pressure, but somehow our cover. They had quick passes, which is a great point that Laylaw says. Laylaw is making a great point because if you make a quick pass, you're stymieing the pressure or the weakness you have as far as even covering, blocking 4-3 defense, 4 or 5 guys coming in. If you're having pressure coming through, you can battle that not just by helping by putting someone there, but by having quick plays and having guys ready because if you're blitzing, you're bringing extra pressure. And that's the problem, though. The Falcons were not really blitzing. They had 4 guys going, and we couldn't cover them on the left side. So there was.
It's not really blitzing if you just leave them a wide open door to say, "Hey, come sack our quarterback."
When you have that, there's too much coverage going on down the field, and even with a quick route, you have coverage. So they have enough guys back there. You have what? You have 7 guys covering. So you have 7 guys covering, 4 guys, 5 guys. Yeah. It's easy to do underneath and then drop back if you need to. So that's why it's hard to do it if you cannot get a regular 4-man rush blocked. If you can't do that, you can forget about winning the game. You can forget about running the ball, which we couldn't show this last game. It was a few glimpses with Alfred Morris, but
that's all we had, glimpses, tiny little flashes.
And it's because of the line block, though. It's because of the line breaking down, guys.
Well, we saw it in Denver with Zeke. If you think that, and again, I'm not trying to downplay Zeke, But if you want to say it wasn't the line, just look at our whole Denver game, guys. Zeke went nowhere. He wasn't able to do anything. Why? Because our offensive line completely broke down, and that was a major problem.
Yeah, no.
I mean, our blocking wasn't where it needed to be. It was just go back and watch that, and then come back, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, you'll see a very similar game in the Falcons. And I see Cowboys abroad here, switching gears for a second.
Yeah.
Anthony Hitchens and Durant were our linebackers. In 2004, when Sean Lee missed the entire season, we went 12-4. We brought that up earlier.
Yeah, but Durant, again, guys, it's 2017. That's 3 more years. Durant was basically retired. We got him out of retirement.
Twice.
Yeah, so
guys, Cowboys abroad.
Yeah,
Cowboys abroad. I do have to say that the Durant's on his way out. He's definitely lost a step or 2 or 3. I will say, though, at small doses, he can still produce for us.
But again, small doses, limited situation.
If you look at the Green Bay game, the play that really ended up eventually giving them the touchdown, I'm talking about on our defense, was on that 3rd and 8 when Aaron Rodgers scrambled out. Ben Sameo, I think, missed a sack. It was he still had pressure on him, and Rodgers had to roll out the pocket on the left side, and he gained 11 yards and went out of bounds. That was all on Hitchens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rephrase that.
Durant.
Hitchens actually covered the running back in that play and did a great job covering him. Durant went with Hitchens and the running back.
I know the play you're talking about where he
instead of going right.
Faked out.
And his job, as always in the Deacon defense, is to watch the quarterback, especially against Rodgers. That was his specialty. He did that great job in the year before that. In 2016, he did a great job in Green Bay. And you can see that really was giving Rodgers trouble. He was doing a good job. He's lost a step. Yeah. And so that step is a major deal. And again, you can see that he lost a step, but he just blinded himself and went left. And Rodgers went right and that whole side of the field was open because Durant left it open. So when you look at that, Durant scares me in that sense. That's why he cannot play a full game. We say Jalen Smith is good from point A to point B, but he can't play a full game. He's not ready yet. He takes the wrong hole, and he's very bad against covering the run. He's very bad against zone coverage, and he's more of a blitz specialist kind of player. So let's use him that way. And we have Justin March Lillard, who is an unknown on our side of things, but he's played 29 games in the NFL. He's supposedly more agile, quicker, faster. We'll see if he has the skills to play linebacker. He's got to play the middle, so we'll see. And then you have Damian Wilson also.
Who's going to be playing more there. But
right, he's the strong side linebacker, but he's going to be probably playing when there's a 2-linebacker nickel situation. You're going to see him playing, which is what the Cowboys usually run out of for most of the game. So you're going to see a lot of, I'm assuming you're going to see a lot of Hitchens, of course, the whole game. And you're going to see a lot of Damian Wilson in a nickel. And when you go to a base 4-3, you're going to see Durant. And then throughout the game, you're going to see Jalen Smith jumping in there for a couple of plays, maybe for a drive. And we'll see how things go with that. You've seen 3 guys used at that one middle linebacker spot. And then you're going to have, again, when you go to the 4-3, you have Durant at the middle linebacker. On the left side, at the strong side, you're going to have Damian Wilson move back out there. So keep that in mind. That's how Damian Wilson's going to be playing a lot as well. And when we go when we bring in someone like a Lillard for him, that could be an important role for Damian, for someone like a Justin Lillard, a March Lillard, who can maybe show something and really make something of himself on this team.
Exactly.
And the same thing goes for Kyle Wilbur if he gets an opportunity as well. So we'll see. There's a lot of things going on there at the linebacker spot, but just keep in mind that Durant still lost a step or 2. Even though he can help us throughout a game, he cannot be in there the entire game.
Yeah. So, and then I see a few people here making jokes saying that Chaz Green took some tips from Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers is the offensive
the Giants
lineman from the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants up in the
So just making sure I have them right. So and then SCNL, we haven't really looked too much at what players are available in the draft, but for those of you guys who do follow college ball, once the season's over, we really do want to hear from you because that's when we're going to be really diving into
we're not big college fans or anything. I mean,
there's just not enough time in our days, guys, to want to be
if you guys give us a good list of wherever the Cowboys are going to draft, give us a good list of you think we're going to pick in the first, second, third round.
Or guys that you want to see the Cowboys draft, especially now that we kind of talked about realistically speaking, not just I wish they'd draft the #1 pick.
But that's more for the end of the year, guys. So keep that in mind.
So and then
after the season, after the Super Bowl.
So David Williams, I do agree that Jason Witten will end up in the Hall of Fame. I think he'll get in first round. Jason Witten.
Yeah, for sure.
So and then
Romo will get in, but not as a first rounder.
You can always change your name to Prescott. It's still not too late. So. And then I'm glad you enjoy our channel, guys. If you're just joining us here for the first time, or if you are kind of new, make sure to hit like on the stream. It really does help out our channel. And we do post these streams every day. We do our news stream, which we did just before this one. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, that wraps everything up, guys. In case some people can't make these, and our news through here is spread out throughout the whole hour or so.
Stream.
So make sure you check that out if you want a better wrap up of things, just to get an idea of what's going on. This more explores different options and possibilities. More of a thing you have to sit through and watch if you're watching a recap. Exactly. There you go.
And guys, we do live stream our reaction to every single Cowboys game every week. So we'll be here this Sunday,
lined up,
so you guys can see us and our reaction to this Eagles game.
Even just say I hate the Eagles so much.
Keep it family friendly. We do succeed about 99% of the time, but game days are tricky. Other than that, guys, and then we do our Madden game day stream, or our Madden pregame stream.
Yeah, it's a preview stream.
My fiance, pretty much sets up both teams how they're gonna be on Sunday, and lets them play on Madden, and we really break it on down. He might hop on Madden later tonight just for fun, or for just another game.
But mainly, we'll see, guys. You might catch on some of those things. But I will do tomorrow. I will do a breakdown stream through Madden without Tyron Smith. Whether or not he plays or not, I don't know. But we're going to look at our team with Byron Bell over there. And then we're going to do, of course, the rotational running back situation. But we're going to switch that around like we did last game. And we're going to have a Wouzier. We're going to have Xavier Woods. You're going to have Byron Jones. I'm going to mix it all up.
Yep.
So you're going to see what we're going to look like on Sunday if you join us tomorrow for tomorrow's stream through Madden. So, again, you just got to join here, guys. Make sure you hit the notification bell and hit subscribe. And, again, we do have a Madden football league, a franchise redraft league that we already kicked it off. We're like in week 11 or 12. I just beat the Eagles and then lost Thanksgiving to the Chargers. So Tobias's team.
I hope that's not. I hope that's not a sign of things to go. All right.
Well,
I guess I'd be okay. Well, that's what I said. You said you beat the Eagles and you lost to the Chargers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which, guys,
then
also.
You know what? I guess I can live with that.
Also, guys, remember it's a quick turnaround game, and even though it's a Thanksgiving game, and you're talking about our game day live reactions. We're doing Thanksgiving too, guys, right here with you.
That's right.
It's a quick turnaround week for them. It's a quick turnaround week for us. We're going to have only 3 days in between to stuff, no pun intended, to stuff a lot of Cowboy news and info about injuries and things that come. Hopefully nothing out of this game, and hopefully only good things, but hopefully improvements. But we'll see what kind of quick turnarounds we have. Maybe if Tyron Smith does not play this game, this means he plays against the Chargers.
Yeah, so our Monday stream is definitely going to be full of a lot of information, guys. Just trying to
and Wednesday.
Break down everything that happened on Sunday, and already kind of switching gears and thinking about the Chargers game and all of that. So
aside from all the disgusting displays by the Eagles and their fan base, and I'm not saying you guys here on my Cowboys family, you guys are awesome. But here's another example of an Eagle kind of attitude. Eagles offensive tackle, he plays the right side, Lane Johnson, comes from a family of Cowboy fans. This guy comes from a family of Cowboy fans, and he told his grandmother to shut her trap. He doesn't want anybody knowing that.
I'd get my mouth washed out with soap if I told my grandmother that, guys. And that's why I'm a Cowboys fan. I respect my grandmother. Cowboys abroad, he wants to know who is our best blocking running back and who gets more yards, Witten or Beasley. Right now, I think our best blocking running back.
No, I want to see what you say. When you say blocking, what do you mean, guys?
I guess
like run blocking? Because run blocking, it's gotta be.
No, I think he means like just when they're just like helping block. So
you're saying like in a pass situation?
I guess so. At least that's the way I took it. But I don't know.
Well,
let me know.
In a running situation, I would say Keith Smith. As our fullback, he's our best blocking back. When you're talking about pass protection for Dak, I think you have to say Darren McFadden. I truly have confidence in him. He's a veteran. He's been there before. He does it the best. He catches out of the backfield the best. He runs like Zeke. He's not Zeke. He's not close to him, but he runs like him the best. So I think you stay with that same formula. And if you could have either Tyron Smith in there or someone that can at least play to 70% of that level, which is Byron Bell, please help us. Or Chaz Green, please improve. Either you guys, that's the only way we're going to have a chance to even have a glimmer of hope to win this game.
Yeah.
If we can establish a running game, I think that either of those three guys can do it, but I think Darren McFadden is the one you lean on when it comes to all those three facets: running, catching, and blocking. Protection, which is very important right now. Rod Smith is okay at pass blocking. He's good at receiving, but I think we need more pass blocking for Dak. And then you talk about Morris. He's not very good at pass blocking, as pass protection. He's pretty decent. He's improved out of the backfield receiving the ball, but all three things, he's our quicker kind of zone runner, but McFadden is more of a Zeke-type runner that has the ability to block better than the other two guys, and he has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield as good or better than the other two guys. And also, guys, remember, even though he's injury-prone, he has years and years. years and years, 2 years of not playing. He hasn't played since 2015 after he got 1,000 yards in 10 games. So I think I think the coaching staff, they played him hard in the preseason, and he looked good. Other than one fumble on the goal line against the Raiders in preseason, he had a good preseason. Why are they holding him on the roster all this time?
That's why I said there has to be. I feel like there's some other reason, but honestly, it could be no reason. So
who knows?
And then as far as Witten or Beasley, between those two, I think it's going to be Witten just because he's who's going to get more yards in the Eagles game, Witten or Beasley. I'm going to go with Witten just between those two because again, Beasley was such a dangerous weapon last year. He's been somewhat shut down all year, but I think Jason Witten's that guy who at least 2 to 3 times a game, he'll find a way to get open. He'll find a way to get that ball in his hands.
Do you remember last year?
I think, real quick before you say it, Bryce Butler, I think, is going to be the guy who's going to have a better game because, again, they're going to be hard on Dez. Terrence Williams seems to be very up and down. I don't know. And Bryce Butler has the last few games kind of like slowly but surely been in a good position, and he's made the big play. And even that penalty, I think that was called against Atlanta, I think it was questionable enough. Had the guy not fallen down, I don't think they would have called it. So I'm not going to go too crazy on him and say, oh, you know, he like overtly messed up. He made a big mistake here. So I think Bryce Butler is going to be a bigger factor in this game than most of our other receivers.
I think it's always been kind of a factor. The thing with him is he only gets 3 or 4 chances a game to really get a catch. You know,
and so I just
it's
think
limited.
That this time, maybe those 3 or 4 catches out of all those, I think they'll all connect. I just have a feeling that he personally will have a good game. When it comes to the other, that him and Dak are just going to have a good game.
When it comes to Witten and Beasley, that comparison, I think that if you think of last year, we had Witten make his first touchdown catch of the season in that overtime game against the Eagles at home on Sunday night. Or was it Sunday night? I think it was Sunday night. Yeah. And again, guys, we won that game at home. It was around the same time of the year, too.
Great feeling.
And, you know, that game really was a big boosting point for Witten and Dak connection. So let's say, hopefully, that's a waking up situation for them this week. Maybe they can take advantage of the way that the Eagles play against the tight ends. But I will say this: I think Beasley, look for him to have. I think he can have a decent game this week. I'm not really sure much about. You know, I know Darby's a good cover guy, and they're not unbeatable in the past, but I think we can establish the run, and that's where they're really good.
Yeah. Hey, I know about Moose, Billy. He said that's why Moose was so awesome. He blocked hard for Emmitt Smith and Troy.
Fullback, yes.
And then, you know, and I've said it before on the stream. I give a lot of credit to Keith Smith. He's just kind of one of those silent, you know, players on our team that just, you know, almost always does his job when he's out there and does what we need him to do, and is an overall good player. Just, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Thumbs up for him. And then does Dez finally get a touchdown to break the record? I hope so. That would be great, especially against the Eagles. You know,
if you remember also last year in that Sunday night game, we had a slow start. The one boost was in the second quarter. I'm pretty sure second quarter we had a nice deep pass to Dez Bryant from Dak. That really opened up the game, and I think got us our first field goal or touchdown.
We only won, like 27-24?
We had to come back at the end. Well, no, we won by 6 points, but it was a lot. It was. That's
right. We scored the touchdown over.
But that's the thing, though. It was tough. It took us a while to get going. It went for a fumble by Smallwood. In the end of the third or beginning of the fourth quarter, we were losing by like 14, and they were driving. So we came back and won that game. We were losing by 13. I don't know. We came back and tied that game, went overtime, and won with that Witten play from Dak escaping, you know, the play action and again that ball to Witten. It was crazy.
Doing what Dak does best.
Exactly. And that was a turning point for us, and definitely went down for the Eagles at that point. This year they want payback. So it's same scene of the crime, same place, same time, same week. And it's in the same position, but reversed, basically, as last year. So,
but let's see what happens, guys. And we have been streaming for about an hour now. So if you are just joining us for the first time, Peanut, thanks for joining us. Make sure to hit like if you haven't already, guys. It does help out our channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. So,
I want to just say a couple things about the Philadelphia team, all right? Their offense, mainly. They average 31.4 points a game. A lot. It mainly has to do with the more recent blowouts, but still, they've blown out the 49ers, and they've blown out the Broncos, and you got to give them credit for those big numbers. But they have it's a little inflated. They're ranked second in the league in points scored, so very similar to the Chiefs, especially when you look at them in this way. 377 yards per game in total offense.
That's a lot.
That's ranked 4th in the NFL, guys. So in total yards, they almost get, they get 377 yards per game. The Chiefs had almost 400. We slowed them down. So there, is there a chance? We had Sean Lee in that game. We don't have him in this game, so that definitely is a difference.
Yeah, that's a big fact.
We held Kareem Hunt 9 carries for 37 yards. So, we're going to do that without Sean Lee with Blunt or with Ajayi. Probably not.
Yeah.
So
doubtful.
we'll see. Yeah. And then you look at their passing yards, guys. They are ranked 14th with 240 passing yards a game. That's not extraordinary. That's not like, you know, 300 plus is usually, all right, you're a serious passing team. 240 is pretty low. But, again, you think about it, they don't really have to. They've won a lot of their games by large margins. So it's a little bit of a
you have to look at the overall picture when it looks to, when it comes to that stat, at least for the Eagles this year. For sure.
And then you look at their rushing yards per game, and that's their key, guys. They lean on that when they start taking the lead, and that's what we do. I mean, they're taking our playbook and using it. Now, we got to stop it. We should know this. If we're the Cowboys, we do this to other teams last year. They're just doing the same thing that we did last year this year. So they averaged 136.8 yards a game, almost 140 yards rushing a game combined.
Again, that sounds like they released Zeke onto the field.
Yeah, that's the fourth highest in the league, guys. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable to me what
their offense seems to have just done a complete 180. They really seem to have clicked and turned
around. Part of that.
And I agree.
And the offensive line has definitely held it together after having similar injuries on offense and defense that we've had. So, I mean, do you guys want to go over to the quickly about the Jerry Jones situation? Because no.
So.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I do. I don't want to talk about it too much until we have a few more of the facts, because a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, you know, and reading and hearing about, I just want to really confirm, because I don't want to tell you guys, you know, wrong things or rumors. But the one thing that I can say real quick, guys. Oh, let me see. Where was it? Here we go. So I'll do a quick recap. When Goodell was trying to get the position of commissioner, Jerry Jones had a big part in helping him get that job. And in exchange for that, Goodell helped Jerry Jones get an extra loan and more funding to build AT&T Stadium. So from there, you know, Goodell slowly but surely gave his office more power, gave the commissioner more power to discipline players, hired a lot more executive positions that were supposed to be to kind of, you know, help the problems that the league had, you know, at the time. I know they had issues. The whole Michael Vick thing was huge right around the time he just became. So he had a lot of problems. He wanted to clean up the NFL's image, and mainly he promised the NFL they'd make more money. Now they definitely made more money, and some of that anthem controversy does come from that 2009 Department of Defense thing, which again, Goodell was the commissioner. So the anthem protests, you know, he is partially responsible for in that sense. And a lot of the
Papa John's thing.
Yeah, the Papa John's, a lot of the discipline stuff, though, guys. Jerry Jones was not happy with that, and this is the big one. I'm going to read this word for word.
Well, let me just say the Papa John thing real quick. Is that, here's the thing, guys. The Cowboys, this affects the Dallas Cowboys directly.
Oh, that's right.
Because if he had anything to do with what Papa John said, which was basically saying that the NFL is the reason, the protests are the reason why their sales are doing worse. If that was any way pushed by Jerry Jones, that could be a violation of the CBA contract, which guess what? Equals they take a draft pick or more draft picks away from our Dallas Cowboys. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that's what Jerry Jones threatened them to sue them. Then I think Goodell and the league combated with that comment, and then some other stuff happened. So what was that?
So here, this is the interesting part. So because Goodell, when Zeke, this whole investigation was happening, Goodell supposedly, Jerry Jones approached him and he promised results to Jerry Jones, and that's why Jones supported Goodell signing this extension for his contract, because Goodell's basically straight up said, we're not going to suspend Zeke. What happened? Mara and Blank used their positions on the committee to influence Goodell to suspend Zeke.
Mara and Blank are the Giants owner and the Falcons owner.
Yeah, so by promising a big lucrative extension to Goodell if he delivered, this is where right now I believe he makes $42 million a year. He's asking for $50 million a year and lifetime use of a private jet. Kraft did not intervene, and Robert Kraft, Robert, right?
Yeah.
Robert Kraft.
Robert, Bob?
Bob Kraft?
Yeah, Bob Kraft.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, he also did not intervene to kind of get back at Jerry Jones for the whole Deflategate thing, because I guess Jerry Jones was pushing really hard for that investigation. And in July, members of the compensation committee, I guess, turned up the heat on Goodell to suspend Zeke, mainly to hurt Jones, because they resented Jerry Jones for having the reputation as the most influential NFL owner.
That's low. That's so petty. Wow. And if you know, here's what Jerry Jones said to Roger Goodell today after this is what he said this is what he said to Roger Goodell after Ezekiel Elliott's suspension ruling. This is a quote. This is definitely been proven. Quote, if you think Bob Kraft came after you hard, Bob Kraft is a pussy compared to what I'm going to do.
So yeah, guys, and this was in the August phone call that Jerry Jones found out that Zeke was going to be suspended. And guys, the whole thing is just very shady. That's why I said in my earlier thing, expect a bloodbath. I just don't see how this is going to end well.
And then what happened later tonight? Late tonight, there was a new thing that broke where Jerry Jones had to apologize for an inappropriate comment he made 4 years ago after a video surfaced. It was supposedly racially insensitive comments. We don't know the exact thing about that yet, but he did apologize for it. It was something to do with baby. Do you know more about that? How did that go?
So basically, I guess a white man who had a black fiance. They were getting married. He was with Jerry Jones. He wanted to film a little video for his fiance, and Jerry Jones was like, okay, cool. And he said, oh, I'm here with your fiance, and oh, watch out. He's here with a black woman. And then it kind of panned to one of his friends who was black, and, they're kind of laughing it off. Again, that was the thing that was offensive. I think the overall point there wasn't that he was making a racially insensitive remark. I think the whole joke was just like, oh, watch out, he's here with another girl. Like, oh.
And she happens to be black.
Just one of his friends.
I think it's a little too touchy
around.
PC garbage. Honestly, guys, I got to step on and just make my point.
Take your panties out of your butt crack.
I do not like. I do not like Jerry Jones in general as far as moves he's made for the Dallas Cowboys, and I would be the first one. I'm against him in this staunch anthem protests, his threats when it comes to the players. I'm against Jerry Jones on that, but I gotta say on this one, I think a little bit too snowflakey PC out there.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think he was making anything racially insensitive. I don't think that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let us know what you guys think. If you have any, what do you think about what Jerry Jones did? Do you think it was that bad, or do you think, I think it's worse what's happening right now with the actual possible theft of our draft choices. That scares me the most right now, because that is a bit more scary to me than, again, I'm glad he apologized, and I hope nobody was, it didn't sound like the couple was offended at all. It just sounds like, again, when you were saying that the stuff's going to come out, this is the kind of petty stuff, and I think it's this situation. If he said something really racially insensitive, I would definitely be hardcore against him.
We're going to find out about every time that Jerry Jones wiped his butt on toilet paper in someone's bathroom at this point.
Right.
And
the dirt is going to come out, and that was no fun.
Everything on both sides, and like I said, don't expect things to end well, because again, this doesn't involve just them. It involves the whole NFL and the owners, and now a lot of the owners and their own personal petty feelings, like Kraft and Blank and all these other guys.
Mora.
It's going to come to the surface, because now they're going to be fighting. But personally speaking, as an NFL owner, I don't know how I wouldn't be able to put my feelings for Jerry Jones aside, because what Goodell is doing to the league, to the entire league, what he's done to these players, the fact that slowly but surely he's taken away the right to discipline.
The owners feel that they're also being played badly by Goodell in the money situation and the anthem situation. They feel it should have been handled differently by Goodell, and they think he should have been harder against the players in that sense. The owners don't care much about the players as much as they care about their Goodell is the owners are the boss of Goodell in a way, and vice versa. He's the one that takes all the hits for them. So they have to pick somebody who is actually going to be, there to take all the brunt of all the criticism, so the owners don't have to. And that's the thing right now, it's cracking. I mean, according to Jerry Jones, it's like splitting down the middle, where a lot of the 16, 17 of the owners are already against supposedly the extension, even though it was already approved. That they were still working out some of the details. It wasn't official, and that's what they're fighting over, to release out of that agreement and destroy the contract, the extension.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to catch up with some more of your comments. So, SCNL, I think you would make a better owner for the Cowboys at this point. But I am hopeful that when when Stephen Jones takes over, I assume he's going to be the one to take over just because he's current VP. But, I do hope that he can do a better job. He does seem to have a newer, fresher take on things, but I don't know. Until it happens, I can't really tell you guys. Let me see. Screw the courts. Have Jerry Jones and Goodell settle this in a cage match. Cleveland Brown, I'm down with that.
I like that.
But if I were named head coach, I'd fire Garrett before the ink was dry. Billy Murphy, you'd be taking over his job, so I'm glad, because that means he'd be gone. And then Cowboys abroad. I'm with the Godfather. Screw to Goodell. Take down the commish. Charles Foster Kane, I agree. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you are here for the first time,
make sure you hit that like button.
Yes, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But Cowboys need to score early and often. Shallow Hal, I agree. I feel like we are going to see just another game, though, where Cowboys start with the ball. Cowboys, don't manage to
dilly with the ball.
Board. Yeah.
I saw somebody yell, dilly, here comes Philly. I really like to have more Philly fans so we can kind of hear more what you guys think about where your weaknesses lie.
Where are all the Philly fans?
Yeah, I know. Must be on Philly 500. I mean, we actually, Philly 500 and myself quickly discussed possibly doing a Google chat live tomorrow. I was hoping to try to do something tonight with Eagle fans. I only saw a couple come out. Nobody of the usual ones are out here this week. Or I'm sorry, today. They were here the whole week, but they weren't today. So maybe they're hiding. I don't know. Maybe they're scared. But either way, I'm sure.
Cowboys are getting closer and closer. David Irving, Marcus Lawrence getting closer and closer.
The attack is coming.
So, but guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Any last comments, maybe? We talked about everything. And guys, seriously, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Yes,
make sure to catch us again tomorrow. If we do have any breaking news, hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. We will be posting out tomorrow. Remember, and doing our Madden stream tomorrow.
And also, there might be a Madden League game played tonight.
That's right.
Or any of these days it could come up. But maybe tonight I might get a game or two out there, guys. So keep in touch for that. Maybe we'll do some more football talk in general. You want to join the league, the information is down below. Purple_football7. It's in My Cowboys Family Football League on Madden 18 for the PlayStation 4. So there's about 8 teams left, so you can jump on there and join and grab the team, see who's drafted already. It was really a redraft, and it's been done, so you're stuck with the team. You can still make your moves, though. It's mostly simmed. So join in and have some fun, guys. It's a long 25-year format of franchise, so we're just on year 1. So join us for that. And, of course, the live stream tomorrow, guys. And maybe either I'll be on Philly 500's page or he might be here if we do anything at all. If there's a chance that we both have busy schedules, so it's going to be tough. But if it can happen, it will happen. And you'll hear about it, guys. We'll even make some breaking news saying, hey, join us over there or join us over here, for the upcoming Philly 500 My Cowboys Family little chat out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what it's not going to be a bash or trash talking thing. It's going to be more of an analyzation
an
of both teams.
Breakdown of each team.
Well, I'll tell him what I think about the Cowboys. He'll tell us what he thinks about the Eagles, and we'll really get a more up-to-date perspective of the Eagles, and they will get one of the Cowboys. So why not? That's what YouTube's about, and that's what this whole thing's about. But this is about Cowboy Nation, guys, and we're number 1. Go Cowboys, right?
Guys,
Eagles suck.
And then Young Sav, thanks for joining us. David Williams, SCNL, Shallow Hal.
Good win, Young Sav.
Cowboys abroad. I saw Zero God. Just all of you guys, every single one of you guys who joined us here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all.
But number 1, never forget.
Always and forever, win, lose, or draw. Go Cowboys! Woo!
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Yeah, guys, stay safe. Have a great night. We'll see you later tonight or tomorrow.
And go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Peace.